The second gift of this week's portion, the portion begins, Zot Chukat Torah, which means, again literally translated, this is the law of the Torah. And we said earlier that the Kabbalists teach it is the basis for the understanding of the purpose of the light of the Creator, of the wisdom of Kabbalah, of the Torah. But also, the great translator of the Torah from its original Hebrew into Aramaic, Onkelos, tells us that those words, Chukat Torah, in Aramaic, are translated as Gzerat Oraita. And the word in Aramaic, Gzera, comes from the word to cut away. To cut away. The Kabbalists teach that one of the great gifts that is given to us on this Shabbat is the ability to cut away judgment. Meaning, even after a person has, or people we know, had judgment in their life, meaning sickness, lack, pain, how do you cut away that pain? We are given the power on this Shabbat to cut away that pain. To bring miracles. To bring miracles into our own lives, to bring miracles into the lives of others. And the power that is given to us on this Shabbat is so powerful that we can ultimately come to a place where simply, we don't even have to do actions, but simply through the words of our mouth, we are able to bring healing and blessings and miracles. It says in the Gemara, Margalit Tova hayta tluya betzavaro shel Avraham Avinu alav hashalom. It says that Abraham had, this is the literal story, had a beautiful stone, a gemstone that he wore on his neck. Shekol chole sheroeh ota miyad mitrapeh. And any person who was sick that would look upon that gemstone would become healed. And the Kabbalists explain what is the meaning of that story. Not that Abraham walked around with jewelry with special powers to heal, but rather, b'diburo u'vigruno. The words, the throat of Avraham was so powerful, shegazar omer al ze sheyitrapeh, that all he had to do when he saw somebody sick, he would say, you will be healed, and that person was healed. If he saw somebody lacking sustenance, he would say, you will have sustenance, and it would occur. And this is, and it's a beautiful verse from Eov, from Job, and it's one that we, if we want to appreciate this week's portion, remember this verse. It's 4 words from the verse. V'tigzar omer v'yakem lach. You say the words, and it shall be so for you. Tigzar omer v'yakem lach. And this is where we want to come to. This is the beginning of the gift that is given us in this week's portion. It says in this week's portion, it begins, the Creator speaks to Moses and Aaron and says, this is Chukat Torah, this is the way to cut away the judgments. Asher tziva Hashem le'emor. Those 4 words, literally translated as God commanded saying, are redundant, because in the beginning of the verse, it already talks about the fact that the Creator tells Moses and Aaron, tell this to the Israelites. Why the second 4 words, Asher tziva Hashem le'emor, and God commanded to say? The Kabbalists explain, Asher tziva means that the Creator gives us this opening of light. He shines down to us on this Shabbat, le'emor, the power to say, meaning the power to be able to say and heal. When we begin to appreciate that every single one of us, certainly in this generation, is meant to come to a place where our words heal, our words bring blessings, our words awaken miracles. V'tigzar omer v'yakem lach. We are meant to come in this generation, every single one of us, to a power that our words, simply our words, without even having to pray, without even having to make a spiritual connection afterwards, will have the power to heal. How do you come to that gift? Because it's beginning to shine down to us on this Shabbat. How do we receive that gift? The Gemara in Brachot asks, the Talmud asks, why in the previous generations were there so many clear miracles, obvious miracles, easy miracles that happened all the time, and in our generation, they were talking 2,000 years ago, there aren't that many miracles? So if you'd ask somebody like us, why are there less miracles, or at least why are we able to manifest less miracles today than maybe years past? The answer would maybe be, we're not on the level, we're not as spiritually connected, we're not as spiritually powerful. We don't have the power of prayer, we don't have the power of wisdom. Why is it? And there's one answer that's given. There's one answer that's given. And if we can appreciate what this means for us, the Kabbalists teach us in the Talmud that there's only one reason that separates people like Abraham, who could say the words and heal, and unfortunately our generation yet that is not able to have that power of clear miracles, of obvious miracles. The Talmud tells us, the Kabbalists teach, the reason why they were able, and therefore the understanding that the way you are able to create miracles simply with the words of your mouth, they say that they were masu garmayu, that they were willing to give their lives up, they were willing to give completely of themselves for somebody else to have a miracle, for somebody else to have healing, for somebody else to have sustenance. And that's the only differentiator. If you want to know why you or I, why any one of us doesn't have the power yet to bring miracles, it has nothing to do with our spiritual level, it has nothing to do with our power of prayer, it has nothing to do with our wisdom. It has to do with one thing. How much, and this is why the Rav would always use this word in Hebrew, lezulato, how much pain, care do we have for another person? You see somebody in pain, yeah, it hurts you and you'd like it to be better, and maybe you'll pray for them. But how much does it really pain you? How much are you really willing to give up of yourself for them to have healing? And the answer is to the degree that you have real pain for them and a real desire to put yourself in pain for their healing, that's how much help you can give them. That's how much healing you can give them. That's how much miracles you can awaken for them. It's that simple. If you look at it on a continuum, where on one side, of course, where many of us are, we'll call it some level of care, but no real desire to give up of ourselves in any real ways to help another person. The way Abraham was, where he was willing to literally give up his life if he was able to save another person, or at least in true ways, willing to give up of himself to bring healing and sustenance and blessings and miracles towards another person. That's why he had the power. And for us, wherever we are in that continuum, it's not just that when we come to the ultimate level of real care, we'll be able to create these miracles with our mouths, but anywhere as we advance on this process, we'll be able to create more and more assistance, miracles, health for people. But that's the key. That's the key. The power to awaken miracles for others is not dependent on anything except level of true care and the desire, the decision that I am willing to give up of myself in different ways to assist them. To give a blessing doesn't hurt. Even to give assistance often doesn't hurt. To teach doesn't hurt. How much pain are you willing to feel to help another person? That is the single and only reason why we cannot, any one of us, today, truly awaken miracles with the words of our mouths, fathers. Once we come to a point, and as we progress in this process of truly feeling that pain, but more importantly, willing to give up of ourselves to bring them that assistance, we will be able to. It's that simple. And that's why, again, remember these words from the Talmud. The Kabbalists tell us that the previous generations, Abraham in this case, was able to create miracles like that, not because he was more spiritual than us, not because he had more wisdom than us, not because he was more connected to the Creator than us. It was only because he was willing to give up himself to bring those blessings, that assistance to others. And I'd like to share with you, related to this, a really beautiful section from the Noam Elimelech, Rabbi Elimelech of the Zhensk, that pertains to this week's portion. Many of us know that in this week's portion there is a discussion of what's called the hitting of the stone. For those of us we'll just review quickly. Miriam, Moses' sister, passes away, and the Israelites in the desert at the time had what's called the well of Miriam that followed them throughout the desert, and that's where they drank from. When she passes away, there's no more water. Unfortunately, as they often do, the Israelites complain, we're thirsty, we don't know where we're going to get our water to drink. The Creator comes to Moses and Aaron, and he tells them, and there's much discussion about exactly what was said and how it was said, but basically in the literal story, the Creator comes to Moses and Aaron, and he tells them, I want you to go to a stone, I want you to speak to the stone, and it will bring water for the Israelites. The Creator also, though does tell them, Moses, bring your staff with you, in any case. Moses and Aaron go to the stone, and they hit the stone. They do not speak to the stone as was God's commandment. He hits it twice, a tremendous flow of water comes out of the stone. The Creator turns to Moses and Aaron, and he says, Yan lo hemantim bi lehakdisheni, because you did not trust in me, you will not lead this nation into the land of Israel. Moses and Aaron are told that they have, for whatever, something that they've done at this moment, has caused it that they cannot enter into what's called the promised land. And we know it doesn't represent simply a physical land, but it represents a certain level of elevation. So clearly something very important happened here. You read the story literally, Moses made a mistake. Pretty straightforward one. God says, do this, he does that. The Creator tells him, speak to the stone. Moses hits the stone twice. But of course, as we know, the true Kabbalist can't hear anything negative about somebody else. So the Noam Elimelech of the Zhensk, he asks, Lama ne'enash Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom b'mei meriva ba'akoto hasela? Why was Moses punished at this instance with the stone? Clearly, the Creator agreed with his actions. It says, Vayetzu mayim rabim, great water flowed out of the stone. If what Moses did was wrong, why would the Creator create a miracle? You don't give assistance to somebody who's fallen. You don't give assistance to somebody who's doing the wrong thing. If Moses' action was wrong, why did the miracle of the flow of great water from the stone occur? So clearly, what Moses did was not wrong. And he explains. Clearly, this was not an instance where the Creator simply tells Moses, I want you to do it in this way, meaning speak to the stone, and Moses on his own decides, no, I'm not going to listen, I'm going to hit the stone. And here explains to us the basis of what he calls makes a tzaddik a righteous person, but really it's telling us how do you become a person who's truly connected to the light of the Creator. What is the essence of a person who's connected to the light of the Creator? Tamid lachzor achar tovot, always looking to do good towards another person. And here, ve'af shenir'e lo eize davar ktsat avera ba'asoto hadavar hahu. Even if the action that you have to do to help another person disconnects you from the light of the Creator, you're willing to give away your connection, to give a connection towards another person. That's a righteous person. That's where we have to go to. Who's a person who's righteous? Who's a person who's connected to the light of the Creator? Not somebody who wants his own spiritual connection and also wants to do good to other people. No. That's not really a person who's connected to the light of the Creator. A person, unfortunately, most of us aren't even there, right? Most of us aren't even there. We really want to just make our own connection and really help other people all the time. But that's not truly a person who's connected to the light of the Creator. A person who's truly connected to the light of the Creator is a person who's willing to give up his own connection so that another person can have a connection. He says a person who's willing to do an avera, a person who's willing to fall spiritually to elevate another person spiritually. Sheyeh letovat Yisrael oseu. If it's going to give good towards another person, he will do it. And here the Noam Elimelech says words that if any one of us can keep this in our mind every day, these are unbelievable, unbelievable words. V'yikabel alav, a person who's righteous accepts upon himself, af lihiyot begehenom avuram. Even if a person knows that he has to go to hell, he has to go to the darkest place to give good towards another person, to assist another person, he will do it. Ki kol chukato lehitivam. Because his singular desire is, what can I do to help another person? Even if it comes at my expense. Even if it comes at my spiritual expense. I am willing to go to Gehenom, I am willing to go to hell, if it will elevate another person. That's a tzaddik. That's a righteous person. Unbelievable, amazing words. Yekabel alav af lihiyot begehenom avuram. He accepts upon himself to go to hell, to give another person an elevation. Ki kol chukato, because all of his desire, and this is where we need to go to, this is where we want to go to, lehitivam, to do good to give another person. So that's the first teaching Rabbi Elimelech of the Zhensk gives us. What separates the men from the boys? What separates a person who's connected to the light of the Creator and all the other spiritual people in the world who who we think we're spiritual, how much are you willing to fall? How much are you willing to be in pain? How much are you willing to give up of yourself to elevate another person? We all think we're good people if we help another person. That's not being connected to the light of the Creator. Being connected to the light of the Creator is how far you're willing to fall to elevate another person. How far are you willing to be in pain to assist another person? How much are you willing to give of yourself to elevate, to assist another person? And that's the first understanding. If we want to be connected to the light of the Creator in true ways, we have to start this. We have to understand this and start living this. Put yourself in places of pain if it's going to help another person. Put yourself even in places of falling if it'll help another person. That's the first understanding. It's a beautiful and powerful one. And now he explains another important understanding. A righteous person, a person who is able to create miracles, is only able to create miracles depending on how much the receiver of that miracle has certainty, or another word, belief that is often used, but it's certainty in the power of that tzaddik or that righteous person to create the miracle for them. For instance, Moses was on the level which we spoke about earlier, that with his words, he could create a miracle. He could speak. He had the power to speak to a stone and change its nature and have water flow out. He had the power, like Abraham, to see an ill person, a sick person, and say, you will be healed and it will happen. But there's a problem. If the person who is sick doesn't believe, or didn't, in this case, believe that Moses had that power, he would not be healed. Moses had the power, but the receiver had to have the certainty in Moses' power in order for it to effect that healing, that change. In the case of this stone, which isn't simply talking about a stone and water flowing from it, but it's talking about opening up channels of blessing for the Israelites at that time. Moses knew that what the Creator told him is the highest level. You, Moses, have the power to open up the greatest light for the Israelites by simply talking, by awakening miracle that goes beyond nature. But Moses knew there was a problem. Yes, there were some of the Israelites who had certainty in the power of Moses to change nature, in the power of Moses with simply his words to bring healing and blessings and light. But there were many others who didn't have that certainty, who didn't believe that Moses had that power. And if Moses would have opened up this channel of water, of blessings, of flow, of healing with his words, only those who had the trust, the certainty in Moses' power and ability to create that miracle would have been able to receive that water, would have been able to receive those blessings. So Moses has a problem. Do I keep myself elevated and take care of those that are with me elevated? Speak to the stone, awaken the pure miracle, but it will only be able to flow down to those who believe in this power that I have? Or do I fall? Do I push myself down, take the staff and hit the stone and make a physical action? For some people, once you see something a little bit more physical, it makes it more believable, it makes it more likely. I'll hit the stone and then they'll believe it. It'll make more sense to them that water flows out. In order to do that, Moses knows he's got to push himself down. He's got to fall. He's got to do what's called an averah. He's got to fall down a little bit. But Moses thinks, you know what? I can create miracles and blessings and flow for a lot of people who are elevated. But that's not what I want to do. I want to give goodness to as many people as possible, even though that will necessitate me falling, even though it will necessitate me going into hell for them, even though it will necessitate the fact that in this incarnation I won't be able to elevate into what's called the land of Israel. And Moses says, I accept it. I accept that pain. I accept that falling. I accept that taste of Gehinnom, that taste of hell, if it will give a few more people an ability to receive some more light. And therefore, Moses changes the commandment. The Creator tells Moses, he says to him, keep yourself elevated, give the light to those who deserve it, to those who have certainty. Moses says, I can't keep myself so elevated when I see there'll be those who, because of their own undeserving, because of their own doubts, because of their own lack of certainty in my power to create the miracle, won't be able to partake of it. So what does Moses do? Moses says, I accept. I accept falling, I accept pain, I accept darkness, I accept not entering into the land so that I can give some goodness, some light to others. And that's what he does. And that's why Rabbi Melech of the Shens again answers that question. And the Creator accepted Moses, of course with great pain, but he says, Moses, if this is your choice, I'll agree with you. And therefore, great waters come out, and everybody is able to drink from it. So that explains to us this story, but there's two lessons. One, which I think is much more important, right? The second, which Rabbi Melech of the Shens tells us, is the power that, we talk about, let's say, for instance, the power of the Zohar. The Zohar has the power to heal. It has the power to bring every single miracle to this world, to the power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and the Zohar. But, as in this case of Moses and the stone, to the degree that we lack certainty in the power of the Zohar, to that degree it can't. The power of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai and the Zohar can't give us that miracle. That's one. But more importantly is the basic lesson, the powerful lesson. We began the discussion by saying that in this week's portion is given to us, Asher tziva Hashem le'emo. The Creator gives us the power that simply in our words, like Abraham had, like Moses had, but didn't use in this case, but that they had, with their words, they're able to bring this healing. With their words, they're able to bring miracles. Why don't any one of us have that yet? There's only one reason. We are not willing to give of ourselves completely. And if we can remember these words of Rabbi Melech of the Shens, Yikabel alav af lihiyot begehenom avuram. Accept upon yourself even to be in hell, even to be in pain, even to be in darkness, to do good for another person. Ki kol chukato lehitivam, because all your desire is to do good for another person. To the degree, only to the degree that we are willing to be in pain, that we are willing to be in darkness, we are even willing to be in hell for another person, to that degree we are able to bring miracles towards other people. And as we said, it's a continuum. Wherever we are today in this lack of feeling pain, of willing to give over of ourselves, the more we progress in really being willing to give of ourselves to assist others, the more power of creating miracles we will have. And remember what the Kabbalists and the Talmud tell us. The only reason why in previous generations, if it was Abraham, if it was Moses, they were able to bring miracles like that was not because they were more spiritual, not because they were more connected, not because they had more power with their prayers, but simply because they were willing to give more of themselves over. And every single one of us has to grow in this way. You want to be able to bring more and more blessings to others, to give more and more assistance to others, to give in more and more miracles for others. Ask yourself this question: how much hell, how much pain, how much darkness am I willing to take upon myself, accept upon myself to give assistance to others? Whatever the answer to that question is how much power you will have to give real assistance, is how much power you will have to bring real blessings, is how much power you will have to bring real miracles for others into this world. It's amazing. Again, this is the second great gift of this Shabbat. We are given an opening to be able to have the great power to bring miracles for others. But we have to have this understanding and begin living in this way in order to be given the gift of the Shabbat, the second gift of the Shabbat, the gift of being able to create miracles with our words. Remember those words from Job, "V'tigzaro omer v'yakem lach." You shall say it, and it will be so. This is a gift. It's given to us on this Shabbat. May we merit to understand this. May we merit to begin receiving this gift. More importantly, may we merit to grow to the ultimate level of Abraham, of Moses. With our words, it will be so. Bezat Hashem. Shabbat Shalom.